By now, you may have seen reports like this, and we reported on it here in the MeidasTouch network. Egg prices are going way up right now. CNN says this time it's avian flu and the holidays. Well, CNN, this particular kind of strand of constant outbreaks of avian flu, it's been going on for many years, and President Biden has been handling it responsibly. In turn, the MAGA Republicans and the media would attack the Biden administration, blame them for the egg prices going up, without actually going to the root cause, avian flu and corporate greed, whereby the corporations would use avian flu and inflation as pretext to price gouge. Well, now Donald Trump wants to put RFK Jr., who believes that, like most infectious diseases, are all hoaxes. He called H1N1 a hoax. Trump wants to put RFK Jr. in charge of HHS. I want to talk about this because, yes, a lot of time is being spent on the fact that Donald Trump is appointing sexual predators to his cabinet. People like Matt Gaetz, who were credibly accused of child sex trafficking, Pete Hegseth, who paid hush money payments for covering up allegations of sexual assault. We've seen that police report. RFK Jr., allegations against him for sexually assaulting a nanny. But these people are grossly unqualified, and with a potential new pandemic, you can't have these people in leadership positions. I know Gates is gone, but you can't have RFK leading HHS. And of course, Donald Trump's going to try to do whatever he thinks can make himself and his greedy corporate friends more money, even if that means killing us. So here's what Republicans against Trump write. They go, look, this H5N1 bird flu virus, that's what this particular virus is called. It's been detected in retail sample raw milk in California. State health officials confirmed on Sunday. The New York Times reported that the virus has spread to nearly 500 herds in 15 states. And meanwhile, you have Trump's HHS head, RFK Jr. He says he drinks raw milk. He criticized the FDA over its aggressive suppression of raw milk, but let me just show you what RFK's on video saying, and this is going to come out in his confirmation hearing on Russian TV. RFK Jr. claimed that the swine flu, H1N1, which killed 284,000 people, I think it's more like 545,000 people in the world, never happened. And he says it was fabricated by pharmaceutical companies so they could make money. I guess the part of what I just said that needs more attention. So he's on Russian TV right now saying H1N1 was a fabrication by corporations to make more money. That's what he said. Here, play this clip of him.
The World Health Organization, that's really a misnomer. The World Health Organization is even more captured than CDC is. The World Health Organization gets half of its budget from industry. It is absolutely controlled from top to bottom by the pharmaceutical companies, and particularly the vaccine makers, who use WHO to, fabricate pandemics like the swine flu, like the H1N1, and make billions of dollars on pandemics that never happen.
Okay, you've heard us rave about ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic. I have super exciting news. Their team just released another product to help with everyday challenges. Now let's face it, there's no diet out there that's perfectly balanced. Either I'm eating too much of this or not enough of that. And that's why I started using Sugar to Fiber Probiotic Mix every day. Today's modern diet makes it really difficult to keep things balanced. Extra sugar is found in so many foods, and no matter how hard I try, I'm not eating as much fiber as I want to, while getting enough fiber is a challenge in itself. The PhD microbiologists over at ZBiotics understand that extra sugar is all but impossible to avoid these days, and 95% of Americans don't get enough fiber. So they genetically engineered a probiotic to convert some extra sugar from our everyday diet into a prebiotic fiber called lavin. This leads to a more balanced microbiome, the key to a healthy gut. One stick pack of sugar to fiber, and you'll get a daily dose of fiber from the foods you already eat. I started drinking sugar to fiber every day because I liked having a way to get closer to my daily recommended dose of fiber without needing to change my diet. And I really liked knowing that this fiber was coming from extra sugar that I was already eating and didn't need. Every day I put a pack of sugar to fiber in my morning coffee. I love knowing that I'm supporting my gut health with this routine. With the holidays around the corner, I know that I'm going to be consuming a bit more sugar. With sugar to fiber, I can stay on track and not let the season throw me off course. Go to zbiotics.com/Meidas and use Meidas at checkout for 15% off any first-time orders of ZBiotics probiotics. ZBiotics has a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this episode.
Look, Donald Trump's own former Surgeon General, Jerome Adams, is sounding the alarm. Here's what Trump's former Surgeon General is saying. Whooping cough cases are up 5 times this year. 100,000 global measles deaths, mostly in kids. H5N1 steamrolling towards pandemic status. Egg prices skyrocketing. The new administration had better have a strong infectious disease response plan to ensure public health and that vaccine confidence stays high, or they'll be distracted with outbreaks for 4 years, this time instead of 1. So let's take a look at this strong infectious disease program. And Dr. Adams knows what he's doing there. I mean, he's directly calling out this clip right here, and frankly, all of the statements made by RFK Jr., where RFK Jr. said during his campaign that he would stop research on drug development and infectious disease for 8 years, an 8-year moratorium on researching infectious diseases. Here, play this clip.
I'm going to go to NIH my first week. I'm going to call all the division heads and I'm going to call all the bureau chiefs. And I'm going to say, we're going to give drug development and infectious disease a break, a little bit of a break for about 8 years. And we're going to study chronic disease.
Here is RFK Jr. also pushing his conspiracy theory that the quarantine was used to install 5G cell phone networks and claimed digital currency is the beginning of slavery. Here, play this clip.
I'm going to say one more thing. They haven't done a very good job about protecting public health, but they've done a very good job at using the quarantine to bring 5G into all of our communities and to shift us all, to begin the process of shifting us all to a digital currency, which is the beginning of slavery. Because if they control your bank account, they control your behavior. And we all see these advertisements on television saying 5G is coming to your community. It's going to be a great thing for all of you. It's going to change your lives. It's going to make all of your lives so much better. And it's very convincing, I have to say. Because I look at those ads and I think, that's great. I can hardly wait till it gets here. And then, because I'm going to be able to download a video game in 6 seconds instead of 16 seconds. And is that why they're spending $5 trillion on 5G? No. The reason is for surveillance and data harvesting. It's not for you and me. It's for Bill Gates. It's for Jeffrey Zuckerberg. And it's for Bezos and all of the other billionaires.
And so, yes, it is important that we reflect on Donald Trump's lies that he's going to bring egg prices down. It's also quite convenient that corporate media is now trying to give it some nuance. Egg prices going up because the avian flu. Well, maybe Biden was dealing with it in a responsible way while bringing overall inflation down, and we could have reported on what was happening accurately, as we were doing here on the MeidasTouch network. Let's take a look here. The CDC is confirming this H5N1 in a California child as Hawaii details testing results. Take a look at this report right here. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. I mean, you have to ask yourself, is the CDC even going to exist under Trump, with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy running what they call the DOGE agency, and Marjorie Taylor Greene leading the DOGE agency in the House of Representatives? I mean, she's called for Dr. Fauci to be criminally prosecuted, and she's going to be the one in charge of taking away money from agencies like the CDC. So let me just show you two clips here. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene's statement on Dr. Fauci. Play this clip.
You think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer. I want to talk about this right here.
Mr. Chairman,
Fauci,
objection. Objection.
I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time, Mr. Raskin.
Gentlelady will suspend.
Mr. Chairman,
Point of order.
Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Yes, because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in
Gentlelady will
prison.
suspend. The gentlelady should recognize the doctor as a doctor.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, is this what we have become? Is this what we have devolved into?
And here's Marjorie Taylor Greene from this weekend saying that America is spoiled. We're spoiled people for having these agencies. Here, play this clip.
You see, America's been really spoiled for a long time, but the federal government has been the worst abusers of the Americans' hard-earned tax dollars and the American people's trust. And so our subcommittee has a lot of work to do, and we'll be lining up these important hearings. And most importantly, any program, grant recipient, federal agency, they're going to have to come and tell us why they deserve the American people's trust and are allowed to spend their money going forward.
So going back right here to this article, again, California is announcing an H5 case in a dairy farm worker. The new development lift the state's total of 29 human cases of H5 avian flu, and the national total since the first of the year to 55. I mean, remember when those were the numbers with COVID and Trump said like a miracle, it was all going to go away, versus how the Biden administration and the Obama administration dealt with pandemics and how they took it seriously. I want to share with you this clip right here of an actual doctor to remind people about H1N1, how these avian flu strands, what happens is they can merge with human flu strands and kind of mutate and form these H1N1, H5N1 kind of mutations. And so here's this doctor's video I want to share with you right now, just to remind you. Play this clip.
I know with diseases, we get really scared when it becomes, at first it's animal to human, and then it becomes human to human, or if it cross-contaminates or gene swaps with some other virus and becomes kind of a super virus. Are you watching those possibilities?
Absolutely. I mean, you really hit the nail on the head here. Those are two of the biggest concerns that we have. So one is human-to-human transmission. With H5N1, we have not seen historically over decades that there has ever been efficient human-to-human transmission. There have been some outbreaks where antibody studies suggested there could have been some transmission to other people, but generally we have not seen that. But what we know is that there are certain mutations that if the virus gets those mutations, it can better infect human cells and it can stabilize itself where we could see transmission between people. So we are watching that. I will point out that the case of the teenager in British Columbia, there were mutations detected that suggested that virus had adapted to infect humans better. Okay. So that's one issue.
Okay, yeah. So then what do...
So the point of all of this and sharing this with you is to reflect on the importance of a government that works and functions, so that you take these videos and educate people in your family circle and friends and just let people know. We have to understand that there is a role for things that function and not breaking everything down and ripping everything apart. apart and like owning the libs and owning this one and screaming and shouting. Like, we have to be responsible adults. We owe it to our children and grandchildren and people in our life and communities and country and the world. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million together. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram at MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.